Hello and welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS channel 30 or 1030, Westband cable channel 17, Bell satellite channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. Now, today's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, August the 4th, 2023. On the front page, we have some pictures from the 67th Annual Manitoba Threshermen's Reunion and Stampede. People were drawn en masse to the Manitoba Agricultural Museum near Austin, Manitoba, from July 27th to July 30th, for the 67th Annual Threshermen's Reunion and Stampede. The event featured a variety of attractions showcasing a range of agricultural machinery and musical performances, such as from Rosemary Siemens and her band, and much more, of course. Now, there's been another crash near Carberry reported by Owen Devereaux. The location of a tragic auto accident near Carberry earlier this summer is once again the scene of a multi-vehicle collision. RCMP have confirmed that on July 31st at around 4:45 p.m. they responded to an accident at the junction of Highway 1 and Highway 5 in the RM of North Cypress Langford. When officers arrived on the scene, they found that there were 3 vehicles involved. The initial investigation suggests that a pickup truck was traveling south on number 5 highway and entered the intersection at the number 1 Trans-Canada Highway. At that point, it then collided with an eastbound SUV. The collision between those 2 vehicles then careened across the highway and collided with a 3rd vehicle that was waiting at a stop sign located on number 5 south of the Trans-Canada. The initial RCMP report noted that 3 people were injured, with 2 taken to a local hospital while a 3rd is being taken to Winnipeg. The injuries are serious, but no fatalities have been reported as of Wednesday, August the 2nd. This latest collision occurred in the exact same location as the June 15th accident involving a handy van from Dauphin and a semi-truck. 17 people perished as a result of that collision and 8 others were injured. We very much appreciate that this may be extraordinarily upsetting for some people considering the recent mass casualty collision at the same intersection, said Inspector Lee Fortin of RCMP West District. This is very early in this investigation and we need to do our work to confirm information and determine what happened. We will provide updates as soon as we are able. We urge anyone who is triggered by this incident to seek appropriate supports. Next, we have an article about support from the government. Yellowhead Centre, Roxy Theatre, part of latest government arts, culture and sport support by Owen Devereaux. A few local artists, culture and sport facilities are sharing in some monetary support from the government. The Manitoba government announced on Monday, July 31st, its latest round of financial backing through the Arts, Culture and Sport in Community, or ACSC Fund. This program was established last year with the intent of dividing up nearly $50 million to large, small, and community projects that apply. The applications are reviewed, and then the money is distributed on a quarterly period. In the latest announcement, 3 Neepawa projects and 1 from Minnedosa received funding. In the small capital project category, which covers the renewal of facilities and spaces needed for arts, culture, and sports programming or activities, the Minnedosa Regional Events Centre, Inc. received $40,000. That money will be used to assist with the construction of a walking track at the new community arena. Meanwhile, the Neepawa and District Centennial Project Committee, Inc., which maintain and operate the Yellowhead Centre, has received $25,000 for the creation of more accessible washroom spaces. As well, the Neepawa Theatre Centre, Inc., who operate the Roxy Theatre, have been granted $12,373 for carpet replacement. In the Special Initiatives category, which sees 50 to 100% of eligible costs expected covered to a maximum of $300,000, the Neepawa Titans received $6,920 to aid in the operation for their annual prospects camp. In total, 545 large, small, and community projects across Manitoba received some amount of funding this quarter. Since 2022, the ACSC fund has doled out cash to 942 total projects. So that's wonderful. Now, the Roxy Theatre, the show's coming up on August 9th and 10th, is a movie called No Hard Feelings. It says, on the brink of losing her home, Maddie finds an intriguing job listing and helicopter parents looking for someone to bring their introverted 19-year-old son out of his shell before college. It's rated 14A, and the showtime starts at 7:30 p.m. And on August 16th and 17th, also at 7:30 p.m., it's a movie called Sound of Freedom. Helen Drysdale, out of Helen's kitchen. Of course, this week it will be about zucchini, which many gardens will be featuring a lot of zucchini at this point in time. In the beginning of summer, it was lovely to have fresh zucchinis to stir fry, put in a casserole or a chocolate zucchini cake. But after several weeks, it has taken over. The jokes about too much zucchini are all too real. I am finding out there are so many ways to use up your larger-than-life garden bounty besides leaving them by your neighbor's front door in the night. Zucchinis are filled with nutrition and low in calories. A whole cup of cooked zucchini has just 17 calories, and it's a great source of vitamin C, significant amounts of vitamins B6 and K, riboflavin, folate, and minerals like potassium. What's more, zucchini's fiber helps stabilize blood sugar, preventing blood sugar levels from spiking after meals. Add shredded zucchini to any meatloaf or meatball recipe. Add it to lasagna, casseroles, and soups. You can use thinly sliced zucchini instead of lasagna noodles for a low-carb, healthy version of lasagna, with or without meat. Cut zucchini into thin strips. Saute it lightly and top it with pasta sauce and grated cheese. Use them to make latkes or hash browns by mixing shredded zucchini with beaten eggs, flour, and spices such as Mrs. Dash, cumin, or dill, and fry in a frying pan. Saute in a frying pan with oil, garlic, onion, salt, pepper. Once soft, sprinkle with shredded cheese, or my favorite, add in stir-fry sauce or curry. Stew it, pickle it, relish it, jam it, stuff it, or bake it into muffins, pancakes, waffles, or breads. The possibilities are endless. And Helen has put forth 3 zucchini recipes. The first one is zucchini Thai soup, zucchini oatmeal cookies with chocolate chips, and zucchini macaroni salad. Very interesting. Next, we have an article by Delcy Martin, Your Listening Ear. This week it's entitled Seeking Balance. When a client comes in to see me for the first time, I always assess their mental wellness holistically. Human beings have 4 aspects to themselves: the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual components. Each of these components are as important as the other, and when they are all in balance, you feel like your best self. We have some parts of ourselves that we are better at or more comfortable at attending to. We meet the needs of each part by intentionally doing things that feed our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual selves. Beginning with the mental component of self, this is the thinking and rational part of you which is fed by knowledge. Some folks feed this part by themselves by studying, listening to podcasts, or watching documentaries. Even something as simple as being in a job you love is mentally satisfying. Feeding the physical part of ourselves looks like eating well, being physically active, having sex, attending doctor's appointments, and taking medication. The emotional part of self is about the emotional connections you make with yourselves and others. Feeding this aspect of self might look like having a deep conversation with your partner, connecting with a friend or family member, or going to therapy. Finally, the spiritual aspect of self. Being spiritual is not the same as being religious, though religion is a form of spiritual. Being spiritual is about your belief in a higher power, higher purpose, your connection with the land, and your connection with your spirit. Feeding this aspect of self could look like reflecting on your personal beliefs, attending religious services, listening to music of any kind, going for a walk in nature, or meditating, mindfulness practice. Ask yourself, how am I meeting my needs according to the 4 aspects of self? What am I doing well? What areas are lacking? What could I add or take away from my life to meet those needs? When you incorporate things into or out of your life that meet these aspects of self, you are in balance. And when you are in balance, you feel capable, confident, and at peace. Working on these things will likely be a lifelong project. We are, after all, human and move into and out of balance as our lives change. It is absolutely possible to achieve balance as long as you are willing to take the first step and make one small change. This is by Delcy Martin, who has a BA, a BSW, an MSW, and an RSW, is a registered social worker, private practice therapist, and business owner of True You Therapy and Wellness Services. Visit her at www.trueyoutherapy.ca. Anyone who may have feedback on the column or wish to have a question anonymously answered as part of the weekly column may reach Delcy Martin at delcymartin@trueyoutherapy.ca. Martin's podcast, The Relationship Review with Delcy Martin, can be found on Acast, Apple, Amazon, Google, and Spotify podcast platforms. Neepawa blue dolphins bring almost 30 swimmers to home meet. Submitted by the Neepawa Dolphins. It was a hot time at the pool on Saturday. Manager Dave Dick enjoyed a near full complement of swimmers at the event. A strong performance by the local Dolphins had them capture a total of 30 firsts and a ton of points, as each swimmer adds to the team total. Hopefully that trend will continue for the final 2 meets. Teams participating are Neepawa Dolphins, Swan Valley Rapids, Winkler Barracudas, Beausejour Otters, Pilot Mound Piranhas, Treehorn Tiger Sharks, Manitou Stingrays, and Hamiota Redfins. Next, we have a young lady from McGregor who wins big, submitted by the Neepawa Banner and Press. Gwen Stefanishin won $100,000 on her Lotto Max ticket, but it took her quite some time to realize it when she checked her numbers online. Stefanishin won her prize on the June 30th extra draw. I checked the numbers on the website, so I was reading them number by number, she explained at her prize claim interview. At first I thought I had won $10. Then I thought it was $1,000. I was completely shocked when I realized I had matched the last 6 numbers, and it was $100,000 winner. The McGregor local purchased her winning ticket from the McGregor Gas Bar, located at 235 Government Road. She said although the first part of her win took some time to grasp, there was one thing that took her no time at all: deciding what to do with her windfall. A vacation somewhere warm in January, she said. That was the first thing that came to my mind after I figured out that I had won. Stefanishin says she feels thankful to have won the lottery. I feel extremely grateful. This win will do so much for me. Lotto Max tickets are available at all Lotto Spot retail locations, Subscription Spot, the Lotto Spot app, and on Play Now until 9:30 p.m. Central Time the night of the draw. Now we have a big article about a grand opening happening in Neepawa. Media release by Hidden Hollow. A store playfully named for its somewhat hidden location just off Neepawa's Main Street is now pretty hard to miss. And its owners are ready to celebrate their official grand opening with the community. After completing its 3-phase store goals outlined in the Banner and Press last November, upgrading the interior, establishing stock and finishing interior and exterior murals, Hidden Hollow, a kids store and more, located at 266 Davidson Street, is set for its official grand opening on Tuesday, August 15th at 9:45 a.m. The store will be open 10 till 6 that day to allow time for all interested to attend. The day will include a 10-ticket tour of Hidden Hollow, where patrons can get acquainted with the store through a series of draws located throughout its rooms that will be matched to their ticket card number. As well, there will be an hourly draw of items that have been generously donated by many of the store's vendors. For all kids 12 and under, there will be a lollipop pull game as well, where everyone is a winner. There will also be specials that day on select items and clearance prices on inventory inherited with the original building purchase, such as music items, Jets jerseys, picture frames, and more. We've had a chance to get established in the space now, and we're ready to welcome everyone in to celebrate with this new business with us, Daryl Critchlow, who owns Hidden Hollow with his wife Belinda. Our main goal was to complete some interior and exterior upgrades, as well as stock a large diverse inventory before the official opening celebrations. Customers will notice a significant change in the initial product lines we opened with in November to the additions now found throughout the store. The building's exterior has recently completed its eye-catching transformation to feature a mural of whimsical creatures playing among the forest hollow. This transformation was created via painting and repair efforts of Bannerman Painting, while the mural was envisioned by 2 local artists, Katie Perry and Megan Peters, and is supported in part by the Town of Neepawa's Storefront Improvement Program. Katie and Megan also painted the mural in the store's foyer, depicting the hollow from the inside earlier this year. We cannot thank each of these individuals enough. Katie and Megan have created an amazingly playful and beautiful storefront facade that mimics a page right out of a fairy tale storybook. We couldn't be more excited with the end results, said Daryl. We've had a lot of positive response to opening. Customers have commented on the uniqueness of the store for Neepawa and the variety of toys and games available for kids and presents for young and old. The store is full of fun things for all ages, Belinda noted. We wanted to make coming to the store a fun experience and outing for everyone. It's been really neat seeing kids and families stop for photos and to interact with the murals. It's added just that much more of a whimsical feel to the store. Inside, the store has seen significant growth in inventory and has a much wider offering than when it opened last November. In addition to stocking toys, books, and puzzles, Hidden Hollow also has over 400 board and card games, art supplies, fidget and sensory toys, squishmallows, Schleich, Lego, Hot Wheels, and Nerf, candy, trading cards, including hockey, Pokemon, and fantasy, crafts, STEAM activities, and Aboriginal giftware. A birthday and baby gift registry has also recently been established. With the mural now complete, word is getting out that we are here, noted Daryl. The Critchlows are hoping the grand opening will attract people of all ages to check out what their Hidden Hollow has to offer. We have completed all phases of the transformation of the store, and we look forward to celebrating with everyone. Here's a few pictures with a couple of fresh coats of paint, both outside and inside, now completed. Hidden Hollow, a kids store and more, is now all set to host its grand opening. The building now features an exterior, pictured here, and interior mural to capture the eyes of all. Full of a variety of sights and wonders, the murals were painted by Katie Martin and Megan Peters. Pictured here inside, this fellow, complete with antler lanterns, is part of the mural in the store's foyer. And here, these critters are just one of the many dwelling within a large tree which can be found as part of Hidden Hollow's newly painted interior mural. So good luck to the Critchlows for that. Now, Dragon Boat Day held at Minnedosa. Dragon Boat team members from Waves of Hope, Brandon Blaze, and the Turtle Mountain Torrents, pictured here, gathered together at the Minnedosa Beach on Saturday, July 29th for a Dragon Boat Fun Day. The fun day included a variety of activities such as 100-meter sprints, eyes closed drills, bump boat rate drills, 200-meter races, and more. Here, this paddler, it looks like Diane, showed off a dragon boating themed tank top. I could use a good paddling. And here, after a full morning of activities, the teams of paddlers disembarked for a lunch break. And here, a good stretch and a round of warm-ups is imperative before any sporting activity. And here, one of the mixed dragon boat teams as they appeared out on the lake during their fun day activities. With the Waves of Hope team, it's Debbie Lee, Annette Beatty, Pam Harrigan, Joyce Johnson, Barb Berry, Laura Cluett, Evelyn Clegg, Bev Lumax, Shannon Alexander, Diane Mikulak, and Kathy Cameron. For Brandon Blaze, Olga Antipova, Lauren Szymanski, Laura Rolfs, Kat Kachula, Matthew Bowman, Jen Szymanski, Paul Szymanski, Rosanna Coe, Red Angeles, Glenn Birkin, and Tanya Joyce. And with the Turtle Mountain Torrents, Laura Finley, Marley Patterson, Brett Embers, Cheryl Schul, Crystal Freeman, and Vanessa Markle. Well, looks like they had a good day for it. Okay, psychiatric nursing history brought to light by Ken Waddell. Beverly Hicks, her book Politics, Personalities, and Persistence, 100 Years of Psychiatric Nursing Education in Manitoba, tells about the celebration of 100 years of psychiatric nursing education in Manitoba. Did you know the first psychiatric nursing graduation in Western Canada, and perhaps all of Canada, happened at the old Brandon Mental Hospital in 1923? 7 young women received diplomas of psychiatric nursing in a ceremony in the auditorium of the old hospital. And did you know the first university in Canada to offer a baccalaureate degree in psychiatric nursing was Brandon University? Brandon has been a pioneer in psychiatric education for 100 years. NACTV interview with author to be on NACTV. Learn more about this district and unique profession, which is only practiced as a registered profession in Western Canada, by watching the documentary, which will be aired on NACTV on Monday, August 7th at 8 p.m. and Wednesday, August 9th at 3:15 p.m. Hear stories that range from a 92-year-old psychiatric nurse, Vivian Hildebrand, who lived right in Neepawa and who practiced psych nursing in the 1950s, right up to the class that graduated from Brandon University this past June, 100 years after the first class. You can also visit the Curve Gallery at Brandon University for a display of photos, or visit the Brandon General Archives and Museum on 9th Street, Brandon, for a display of other memorabilia. Finally, you can purchase the book Politics, Personalities, and Persistence, 100 Years of Psychiatric Nursing Education in Manitoba. This book is available at Poor Michael's Bookstore in Onanol, or Lady of the Lake in Brandon, or from the author Hicks at mymts.net. And this is a picture of Beverly Claire Williams Hicks. Her book covers a large swath of Manitoba nursing education history. All right, a little something for everyone. Gladstone Fair ready to return by Owen Devereaux. The Gladstone Ag Society is looking forward to welcoming new friends and old acquaintances to the annual Gladstone Fair. The event, scheduled from Friday, August 11th to Sunday, August 13th, expects to be a massive celebration for the community. Ag Society Secretary Tara Fulton told the Banner and Press that the committee members involved with the planning for this year's festivities are already feeling very excited about what you'll see during the weekend. There's a lot of work going on right now, just getting all the last-minute preps ready. While it's hectic, we're still very happy with where we're at for getting all the supplies together and ensuring all the events are set to go, said Fulton. As a community, we take a lot of pride in doing something like this that'll have a little something for everyone. The array of events Fulton references include pancake breakfasts, a softball tournament, Manitoba Barrel Racing Association competition, and children's and full-scale parades. Those events have become a welcome tradition each and every year in Gladstone. One specialty event, however, that'll take place only this year is the grand opening of Gladstone's new swimming pool. Fulton said, "It's wonderful that the work could be completed on the project in time to coincide with their local festivities. It's nice that we can do this, and I think there's a fair bit of excitement around the fair and the pool opening, and people are really looking forward to the weekend." The Gladstone Fair will also feature fireworks, the musical act Bull Ruckus, and a kids' form party. The event runs from Friday, August 11th to Sunday, August the 13th. Sharing and Celebrating Culture Through Dance by Owen Devereaux. Later this month, Minnedosa will serve as a temporary home to some of Western Manitoba's most talented Ukrainian dancers. The Yednist School of Ukrainian Dance has organized a summer dance day camp for August 8th to the 12th at the Community Conference Center. The camp is open to all interested dancers aged 7 to 18. Pamela Noasad Fedorowicz, one of the co-founders of the school, which was established in Winnipeg in 2019, said that this foray into Western Manitoba is something they have dreamed of doing for quite some time. This has always been an idea for our group since we began operations in 2019. Shortly after we started our most recent dance season, one of the parents in our group brought forward the idea, and since it was already an idea on the back burner for us, we decided to make it a reality. We chose Minnedosa for a number of reasons. First, as a group, our vision is to share and celebrate Ukrainian culture and heritage with everyone, regardless of nationality. Our group is very community-minded, and we make it a priority to reach out to other communities and participate in their events whenever possible. We participated in an event last summer in Minnedosa, and we were overwhelmed with how welcoming and inviting the people of Minnedosa were at that time, and we wanted to give back to the community to show them our support as well. In addition, Minnedosa portrays such an amazing resort-like summer atmosphere, and we thought it would be a wonderful venue for families to come together and take part in everything Minnedosa has to offer. As for the local response to the Yednist School's upcoming arrival, Noasad Fedorowicz said it's been just what they hoped it would be, as dancers from Brandon, Neepawa, Rossburn, Sandy Lake, and Shoal Lake have already committed to the camp. Along with the established teachers at Yednist School of Ukrainian Dance, the camp in Minnedosa will also include a special guest instructor, Timothy Jadek. Originally from Dauphin, Jadek has made a career from dancing throughout North America and Europe. The former corps de ballet member of the Cherimosh Ukrainian Dance Company of Edmonton now resides in New York City. Noasad Fedorowicz noted they are very happy to have a performer of Jadek's caliber return to his home region to give back in this manner. Timothy is always eager to support the area that he grew up in, and we are equally as excited to have him join us for the week and share his passion for Ukrainian dance with our camp dancers. The Ukrainian Dance Camp will feature morning sessions for ages 7 to 11 and full day sessions for ages 12 to 18. Now, some sports news. Neepawa Titans celebrate player signings. Junior A Hockey Club makes 2 community presentations by Ken Waddell. 60 people were served a wonderful steak supper at the Neepawa Titans Junior A Hockey Club Stakeout on July 28th at the Neepawa Golf and Country Club. Fans, families, and players gathered to be introduced to the auto-protected and newly signed players. Head coach and general manager Ken Pearson introduced 2023 auto-protected players Addison McIntosh and Cohen Kalbaki of Neepawa. McIntosh plays with Yellowhead Chiefs 18 and under AAA and is a forward. Kalbaki is also from Neepawa and plays with the Neepawa Tigers high school team and is a forward. Newly signed players for 23-24 are K.C. Kakut of Brandon, who played with the Brandon Wheat Kings 18 and under AAA team as a goalie, Ty Shell of Shiloh, who played with the Southwest Cougars 18 and under AAA team as a forward, Kyle Weisgarber of Regina, Saskatchewan, who played with the Yorkton Maulers 18 and under AAA team as a forward. Rylan Bray of Neepawa, who played Yellowhead Chiefs 18 and under AAA team, who played on defense. And Liam Foley of Winnipeg, who played with the Charleswood Hawks, MMJHL, also a defenseman. Neepawa Titans Vice President Jamie Dembo emceed the event and said the Titans are about hockey, but they are also about giving back to the community. At the 2023 Neepawa Titans Sports Dinner, guest speaker Tyler McGregor only charged his travel and accommodation. Tyler is the captain of the Canadian men's sledge hockey team. Instead of a speaker fee, he asked that we make a donation to an important community initiative, and we selected the hospital fund as this initiative. Councillor Lisa Pottinger attended to accept the check on behalf of the town of Neepawa. Dembo explained, for the 2023 Neepawa Titans Sports Dinner, local photo artist Jody Baker made a generous deal with the team by providing a package of her artwork for the fundraising auction. Part of that package was a canvas print of the now famous Goals in Life print to be donated by the Neepawa Titans to the Yellowhead Centre for display in the lobby. Yellowhead Centre President Wayne Jacobsen, who is also the voice of the Titans on NACTV and Hockey TV, attended the stakeout to receive the photo on behalf of the Yellowhead Centre. The Neepawa Titans have a golf tournament and poker derby at the Neepawa Golf and Country Club on August 11th, and a hockey school and fall camp at the end of August at Neepawa's Yellowhead Centre. There are still a few spaces available for golf, and you can purchase a silent rider hand for the poker derby. Early bird or silent cart riders can purchase by e-transferring to Neepawa Titans at wcgwave.com with description -poker derby. But also on the topic of the Neepawa Titans, there's a grim reality that can't be sugarcoated, by Owen Devereaux. There's no sugarcoating the stark reality the Neepawa Titans are facing as they go into their 35th season in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. Unless substantial changes happen to the team's fortunes in the year ahead, there may not be a 36th season. The Junior A Hockey Club held its annual general meeting on Tuesday, August 1st at the Neepawa Library. At the get-together, the executive board offered up the financial details from the previous fiscal year ending May 31st. Over the course of the 2022-23 fiscal year, the Titans accumulated a loss of $89,251. That is the single largest one-year loss the club has had in the last decade. As well, that number now increases the total deficit for the Titans to $387,994. The total amount of revenue brought in by the Titans last year was $423,369, an increase of $7,332. Expenses, however, also rose to $516,177 compared to $480,790 in 22-23. The increase in expenses can be attributed simply to the inflationary pressures Canada has faced over the last 2 years. According to the latest figures from the Bank of Canada, the cost of goods and services across the country is up 11.17% since 2021. Like all of us, the Neepawa Titans are seeing that trickle down to their bottom line. More specific reasons for the team's losses can be seen in a bump to league fees, bus rentals, and payments for game officials last season. Those increased by $18,000, $9,000, and $3,000 respectively. Team Vice President Jamie Dembo, who chaired the meeting, said all that contributed to the current situation. Overall, it was a poor financial year, stated Dembo. Our debt load is now reaching a point that is unbearable for our current structure. Dembo added that the Titans Board of Directors has reviewed the outlook and believed there are 3 things that must be addressed immediately. First is making the playoffs, as even playing in a single best-of-7 series with the right opponent can bring in significant additional revenue. As well, the team must get maximum support from the community for sponsorships and the sale of the annual cash lottery, which has not sold out in recent years. Second is a restructuring of the agreement with the Yellowhead Centre to see if an equal partnership on food and liquor sales is a possibility. And third, and perhaps most important, is truly becoming a community team, with community being defined as more than just the town of Neepawa. Dembo stressed that engagements with as many local community leaders across the region is vital to the club's survival. So I look at the opportunity for the team to be owned by 40 or 50 members within the region, each with the minimum investment instead of the current ownership structures, stated Dembo. These are the financial statements. For revenue, fundraising was $208,601. For advertising and sponsorships, $94,634. For travel fee revenue, $53,240. For game revenue, $46,178. For hockey camps, $16,720. For player contracts, $3,250. For patronage dividend, $746, with a total revenue of $423,369. For notable expenses is the following: subcontracts, $87,190. Fundraising expenses, $69,282. For billets, $58,446. For hockey supplies, $55,709. For bus expenses, $48,883. For ice rentals, $26,216. For wages and benefits, $24,691. For travel, $23,977. For fitness and training, $23,059. For interest and bank charges, $17,156. For referee expenses, $17,033. For advertising, $14,871. For repairs and maintenance, $8,884. For MJHL and Hockey Manitoba fees, $6,650. For scouting expenses, $6,319. For hockey camps, $5,668. For bookkeeping, $4,867. For game day setup, $4,085. For admission workers, $1,591. For combined miscellaneous items under $1,000 came to $2,603, making a total of expenses $516,177. Now, still on sports, we're going to go into baseball. The Plumas Pirates are off to the races with a big 9-6 win in Game 1 over the Minnedosa Mavericks. Plumas used the long ball for all of their runs. Zach Yando was in beast mode, hitting 3 home runs and collecting 8 RBIs. He also walked. Sam Contz also belted a solo home run for the hometown team. Rylan Dembo picked up the win, throwing 6+ innings. After Yando hit a grand slam With 2 out in the bottom of the 6th inning, Plumas held a 9-2 victory. The Mavericks would score 4 and load the bases in the 7th to threaten, but couldn't complete the comeback. Game 2 of the best of 5 series was played on August the 7th in Minnedosa. The game was played just after the banner and press publication deadline. And here we have a picture of Justin Walker of the Plumas Pirates. Beats a throw to first. Actually, it's this guy, number 3, during Game 1 of the best of 5 series between the Pirates and Minnedosa Mavericks. As of the banner and press publication deadline, Plumas leads the series 1-0. Neepawa falls to Plumas in the Santa Clara Baseball League semifinal by Owen Devereaux. For the 2nd straight year, the Plumas Pirates have made their way to the Santa Clara Baseball League final. The Pirates earned their place in the championship by beating the Neepawa Cubs 7-4 in the 3rd and deciding game of their semifinal series on Wednesday, July 26. Ryland Dembo picked up the win for the Pirates with the 5-inning effort on the mound, while Ryland Single came in for 2 innings for the Pirates to pick up the save and close out the victory. And back to hockey. Neepawa's Brant Young traded to Winkler Flyers by Owen Devereaux. 20-year-old defenseman Brant Young will close out his Junior A career with the Winkler Flyers. The 20-year-old, who is originally from Neepawa, has been traded from the Winnipeg Blues to Winkler in exchange for 2006 prospect Zachary Anerson and a player development fee. In 105 games in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, Young has accumulated 55 points, 6 goals, and 49 assists. During that time, Young has also had 2 separate short stints in the Western Hockey League with the Winnipeg Ice. In a media release from the Flyers confirming the move, Young noted he's very excited about the move to Winkler. It feels awesome. I'm super excited to get to Winkler and get to work with the guys. Young talked about how he feels about being a part of the Flyers organization. I think what has me most excited is the group we have in place and the fans. I think we have a good shot at a championship this year with the group that's there. I know playing in Winkler on the visiting team was always nuts with how passionate the fans are. So it's awesome to be on the other side now. And news from the Minnedosa Golf and Country Club. The Minnedosa Golf and Country Club held its annual club championship on Saturday, July the 29th and Sunday, July 30th. In the men's division, Zane McDonald finished the event in first place with a combined total of 145. Trudy Adamson finished first in the ladies division with a combined score of 185. In the senior men's division, Jamie Armstrong finished in first place with a combined total of 154. All right. Yes, and now we have McCreary School Awards of 2023. Now, it's just a whole pile of names here that I'm really not going to go through. Alonsa Homecoming set for this weekend by Ken Waddell. Celebrating 100 years as a village, Alonsa is riding the theme, The End of the Steel, 1923 to 2023. Festivities kick off Friday night with a registration at the Alonsa Community Center, followed by a parking lot party and fireworks. Saturday morning is a pancake breakfast at 8:30 and a big parade at 11 a.m. There will be a beer garden, food booths, and lots of kids' activities. The Alonsa Museum is open from 1 to 5 p.m. and there will be lawnmower races at 2 p.m. From 2 to 6 p.m. there will be a jamboree with a promise of more great food at the roast beef supper at 5 p.m. The live band called the Steamers will finish off the festivities Saturday night. And don't forget, Thursday, August the 10th is Miracle Treat Day at the Dairy Queen. Buy a blizzard, bring health and hope to local kids. Rolling Barrage, returning to Neepawa by Casper Werhan. The Rolling Barrage will be thundering into Neepawa next weekend. The Barrage is an annual Trans-Canada motorcycle ride in aid of fighting post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, in veterans, police, firefighters, paramedics, and others serving and retired first responders. Their goal is to fight the stigma of PTSD and to raise funds for programs and organizations that aid first responders with their mental health. This year, the motorists are set to arrive in town from Dryden, Ontario on the evening of Sunday, August 13th at 6 p.m. Once they have arrived, they will motor from Riverbend Park, 418 Davidson Street, to the Neepawa Legion at 425 Brown Avenue. Here, they will enjoy a dinner before getting some rest for their journey to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Anyone wishing to support the Rolling Barrage's cause is welcome to leave a monetary donation with the Neepawa Legion ahead of the August 13 event. Okay. Homebodies by Rita Friesen. This week it's entitled, It Took a While, but I Finally Get It. Throughout the years I lived in my parents' home, there were carefully observed customs. One of them was a two-part custom, deep cleaning the house, spring and fall. I'm talking Mennonite clean. The shelves in the cupboards and closets emptied, washed, and goods selectively replaced. The bottoms of the chairs and the backs of the dressers scrubbed and dried. Windows inside and out, and screens in season. Oven and tub cleaned to the nth degree. In fall, it included the airing of the handcrafted woolen comforters and feather pillows. In spring, it included sprucing up the front steps. It seemed like a big to-do about nothing. For the years I raised families, I followed many of these customs by rote. Then I allowed them to lapse. Really, how dirty can a home with a couple of seniors and no dogs get? I have found out, sadly, that the answer is quite. The spring cleaning frees one to spend all the time one wants out of doors, gardening, playing, and sometimes sitting. There are no niggling thoughts of what should or could be done in the house other than the never-ending 3 meals a day and laundry. The fall cleaning makes up for that time away from home maintenance and prepares one to set aside time for crafting, reading, and watching television with a clear conscience. It takes several days to satisfactorily achieve a deep clean, but it's worth it. It took a while, but I finally get it. Ed was a stickler for a tidy and clean vehicle. That's not to say that on a perfect harvest day he didn't get impatient when our son spent considerable time deep cleaning the combine before heading to the field. And if one was planning to attend a family gathering or a church service, the vehicle was as clean as driving on country roads allowed. In the years of raising families, I gave up on a clean car. Kids in the car meant stuff on the floor, in the pockets, on the back window ledge, things that kept them quiet, entertained, and educated while we traveled. And yes, there were spills and stains. Gordon also appreciates a clean and tidy vehicle. I try to take out whatever I bring in, give the dust on the dash a swipe when I see, head through the car wash regularly, and in general, treat a vehicle with respect. It took a while, but I finally get it. There are other aspects of daily living where I am recognizing that My way may not always be the best way. Filed in my memory bank are examples of better ways of dealing with people, better ways of gardening, better ways of performing mundane, repetitious tasks. I smile at this, for I am very familiar with the expression, "You can teach an old dog new tricks." Well, hallelujah, I am not an old dog. I am still learning new things about myself and my world, and I do wonder how much more I can learn. And then I will say again, it took a while, but I finally get it. Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroshine, a choice we must make. One of my favorite Old Testament characters is a man named Joshua. He succeeded Moses as the leader of ancient Israel after the former's death. Moses led the Israelites to freedom from slavery in Egypt. He led them to Mount Sinai, where God gave them a code of moral, economic, social, and religious laws they were to obey. Moses built a place where the people could come to worship God and offer the required sacrifices to atone for their sins. He also set up a system of civil government to enforce God's laws and lead the people to the eastern border of the Promised Land. Just before he died, Moses appointed Joshua as his successor. Under his leadership, the Israelites entered the Promised Land and conquered all of the major cities within their borders. That took almost 40 years. Joshua's final act was to divide the land into 12 provinces and assign them to the different families, also known as tribes or clans, as God directed. Then, having completed all God asked of him, he died at the age of 110. But before he died, he shared one final message with his people. They had a choice to make, and how they chose would determine their national future. Well, Joshua was no dummy. Observations made during his 80 years in various leadership roles, 40 of them as Moses' successor, had revealed a serious problem in the nation. Their devotion to God was being slowly eroded. Little by little, they were being lured to turn away from God and worship the deities of the nations among whom they lived. For some, the lure was too strong to resist. They served God, but they also served the gods of their non-Israelite friends and neighbors. That was not acceptable to God or Joshua. After identifying the problem, Joshua warned them of the consequences they would face if they continued this practice, and then he issued this challenge. "Make up your mind," he said. "Choose who you will serve. Choose now, but choose wisely, because you and your descendants will have to live with the consequences of your choice." To their credit, the people chose to put away their foreign gods and faithfully follow and worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of Israel. The opening verses of the book of Judges tells us that they served God all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua. But after that, when faced with the same choices their ancestors had faced, they chose differently, and they suffered accordingly. To get the full story, I would suggest that you read through the Old Testament book of Judges. If Joshua could stand among us today, he would call us out for having made gods of ourselves, and for thinking that we can go our own way, do our own thing, make our own rules, and live by them. And he would warn us of the danger that awaits us if we continue on this path. Then he would ask us to choose who we will serve. He would give us two options. He could serve the eternal, unchanging God who is revealed in the pages of the Holy Bible, or we can serve one of the many gods we have made. That is a choice that each of us must make. No one can make it for us, but we must choose wisely. We and those who come after us will have to live with the consequences of that choice. Right in the center with Ken Waddell. Change speed zones now. A disclaimer, the views expressed in this column are the writer's personal views and are not to be taken as being the view of the banner and press staff. The past two columns have been about highways within towns. The issue I have with highways or Manitoba transportation and infrastructure is that they have a hugely difficult process for doing something as simple as changing speed zones. The particular question I have is, why have they not lowered the speed limit east of Neepawa on Highway 16 at the eastern boundary of the town limits? The amount of traffic on that piece of road is going to lead to accidents and possibly death that could well be at a reduced risk of happening if the speed limit was lowered. Currently, it is 100 kilometers an hour, and that is senseless. Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure has promised yet another study to see if they will allow a speed reduction. In response to one of my earlier columns, a reader emailed me that maybe some concerned Neepawa citizens could go out and move them at night. I can just imagine how big a fine that would cause. It seems that speed limits are not applied fairly or sensibly. Quite correctly, the speed entering Rapid City from a long way out is 50 kilometers an hour, but Neepawa is 100. I asked Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure if the town of Neepawa was the traffic control authority within the boundaries of the town of Neepawa. Well, yes and no. Here's their answer. Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure, or MTI, is the traffic authority for much of the provincial highway network as shown on the attached map. When I contacted the government about the map they promised me and did not send, they did send it later and I printed it out. Seems that a road is not just a road. They must have complicated categories. I'm sure you would be interested in knowing that the map shows that just within the town of Neepawa there are provincial trunk highways, or PTH, declared, provincial roads, PR, declared, provincial trunk highways, PTH, designated, provincial roads, PR, designated, and grant in aid streets. Here is how the authority is spread out. MTI responsibilities are shown as provincial trunk highway declared or provincial road declared, and includes Hurl Road, Rosedale Avenue access road at the north edge of the town of Neepawa. PTH 5 north and south of PTH 16, and the road segment in question, PTH 16 east of the south junction of PTH 5, as well as PTH 16 west of the town limits. The town of Neepawa is the traffic authority and can set speed limits on municipal roads and some PTH and PR roads within their jurisdiction. The town of Neepawa is the traffic authority on PTHs and PRs that are designated. Of these designated roads, the town of Neepawa has the authority to set the speed limits, including on the portion of PTH 16 that is shown as designated on the attached map. The legal declaration for PTHs and PRs can be found in the regulations under the Transportation Infrastructure Act available online at web2.gov.mb.ca/laws/statutes/c.cm/t147.php. Oh, brother. That link to the regulations leads one to a 78-page document. Really, 78 pages just to define what a road is, basically. Certainly glad that's all cleared up. I am certain there are times when a 78-page document, and God only knows how many other pages of rules and regulations along with it may be necessary. but it's not as if the town of Neepawa Council and its citizens are asking for a 4-lane overpass or even a set of traffic control lights. All that is being asked is that about 4 traffic speed limit signs be moved a few hundred yards down the road. Since this column was first drafted, another accident has happened at the junction of Highway 5 and 1 near Carberry. Premier Stephenson said after the earlier fatality accident that a study would be done as per policy. What the Premier and the Minister should have said is that while the study was being done, the speed limits would immediately lower to 80 kilometers an hour. The same statement should be made for Neepawa. The bureaucrats would likely object, but I ask, who is in charge anyway? The bureaucrats or the Premier? It's certainly not the citizens and their safety. Whoa. Okay, the last thing I'm going to read today is Looking Back by Caspar Werhan. It actually goes 125 years ago, August 3rd, 1898, today. Raja, the largest elephant in captivity, the only boxing kangaroo, and the only white sea lions on exhibit belong to the Lehman Brothers Circus, which appears here next Tuesday. R. Rennie and staff of carpenters have just finished a contract taken by R.C. Ennis to erect a bank barn for Donald Fraser of Eden, and those who have seen it pronounce it a most complete structure. 100 years ago, August 3rd, 1923, seizure was made in Winnipeg this week of 50 cases of genuine French brandy. It is now stored in the vaults of the law courts. From hence its disappearance will forever remain a mystery. W.H. Worrell will start a fishing business in Neepawa next week and will call at all homes for orders. He will carry an assorted stock received daily. This is something of a city-like service and will no doubt meet with a generous patronage. 75 years ago, August 5th, 1948, paying tribute to Percy Murray and his hardworking Lions Club Playground Committee, Lions President Harry Smith officially presented the local children's playground to Mayor Dr. Paul Cleave at a public function held at the grounds Wednesday evening. The ceremony started with a motorcade from Riverside Park to the corner of 2nd and Mill Street. 50 years ago, August 2nd, 1973, a well-known Neepawa sportsman, Roy Rush, was honored at the first provincial senior playoff series held in Neepawa's new baseball stadium by being asked to throw out the first ball to get the big event underway Saturday morning. Of note, Roy Rush had started his baseball career in 1918, the same date the event in 1973 was held. Dubbed a fireball right-hander, he was noted for his pitching speed in particular, but his capability to play any position. He was also a former coach of minor league games and the senior Neepawa Cubs team. The day of the 1973 event was also said to be the occasion of his 72nd birthday. And 20 years ago, today, 2003, the Neepawa Area Development Corporation, NADCO, has made an offer to purchase a parcel of land from Good Life Foods for the construction of a community daycare. And that daycare is still present at that location. So that is it for the Neepawa Banner and Press reading for NACTV today. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hopefully will see you another time. Goodbye for now.